87-year-old Jean Rudolph was a resident in my care. During this time period, Jean Rudolph developed pressure sores and other ailments requiring medical attention. I failed to provide her with proper care. My acts resulted in great bodily harm to Jean Rudolph. My acts were reckless and constitute withholding the basic necessities of life. Jean Rudolph was a dependent person, and I was employed to provide her with the basic necessities of life. Is that a correct statement?
Yes.
Is that one that you made or that you adopt as your own? Did anyone make any promises to you besides the promises contained in this document to get you to plead guilty?
No.
Effie Tudor was a caregiver at Houghton Lakeview Adult Family Home in Kirkland. She pled guilty to a felony charge of criminal mistreatment involving the neglect and death of 87-year-old Jean Rudolph, who died in 2008 from pressure sores that had burrowed to the bone. The Seattle Times met with Jean Rudolph's son James and his wife Sherry, and they described how they were stunned to discover that Jean's body was riddled with pressure sores.
So when we got into the actual emergency room, and the emergency room doctor then, disrobed her, and that's the first time I saw it, and that everyone in the emergency room, I mean, there were, 3 or 4 people that the attending called in to look at it because it was such a...
And the smell was just overwhelming.
Yeah, but it was all
so sad to look
packed and bandaged up so that until, it kind of got exposed, it wasn't, you didn't really...
And you were there as they exposed it?
Yeah.
And how did they react?
I mean, they took it very seriously from that second on.
The Rudolphs had moved Jean to their Bellevue home where she was placed on hospice care. Infection had spread to every vital organ. There was no hope of recovery.
And how quickly were you contacted by DSHS?
They lollygagged, I think. I don't think they
I don't
really...
remember being contacted by DSHS at all. I wrote a letter and went unanswered, and finally I called, and basically when she was here and said, please come to our house and see these.
Almost in tears, begging them to come and look at them.
I said, hospice is going to be here, changing bandages tomorrow. Please come at this time and you will see. Just give us an hour of your time. I mean, when she came here, she was horrified. And, I guess I felt like, oh, finally, somebody hears us, and things started, they shut the house down immediately. Houghton was shut down within 24 hours of her visit. And so we felt like, things are starting to happen.
I think there's really a lot of guilt more than anything. I mean, you kind of feel like, oh my God, how did this happen? Or this is awful. Some people, I think, reach a point in their life and they sort of give up, and that is not the impression that I got as witnessing my mother's death. She was fighting to stay alive.
While Jean Rudolph's case was investigated by DSHS and later Kirkland Police, the death of Clarence Yesland, who died in the home months before Jean, received scant attention. What's your best memory of Clarence?
Oh, I don't know. There were a lot of them, I guess. We both spoke Norwegian. We both had immigrant parents, Norwegian immigrant parents.
It was obvious to us that Clarence needed professional help, and it was hurting my mother's health. And what do you need? Both of them going down?
You see, when he was in the nursing home, he said, "Where am I? Am I in jail? What did I do?" That was his attitude.
So he knew he wasn't home. He wasn't sure where he was at, which is very common.
Everybody wants to be home, don't they?
In January 2008, Clarence fell and broke his hip and was prescribed pain medications. However, his caregiver, Effie Tudor, claimed that the drugs would make him die quicker and make him comatose. Instead, she told the family she would withhold the drugs and fabricate medical records to cover up her actions.
She asked our permission to stop giving him the drugs.
Only now does the family understand that Clarence might have suffered unnecessary pain.
I don't know. We just assumed that she just took them home with her, I guess, after, because we were getting the prescriptions for him. So she would say that what else could it be? She said, you know, they were giving, you know, she was not giving him the medicine and signing off for it, and then probably just taking the pills or the empty bottles. We weren't aware of this until then you pointed it out that this was happening. Any family that has a loved one that is being harmed when you think they're getting care is one of the most terrible things that I can imagine. To see their last days spent in pain when it's not necessary and it's abusive and you're not only that, but you're paying for it. I mean, they're human beings, for goodness sake. Live productive lives, and you know, they have the right to live their last days and at least pain-free and as happy as happy as possible under the circumstances. I mean, you know, you sort of feel like that's what this country is about. You know, not just discarding their old people and leaving to the whims of whoever, homes or the state or whatever. I mean, if we're not about that, then there's something wrong.